5 million years
Yes.
since last time we spoke. How are you? You look so rosy chicks.
Oh, thank you.
You look so happy,
Yeah, I feel happy.
refreshed, replenished.
Hmm. And in reality, going through a difficult time right now,
Oh,
emotionally. But that might be
oh,
why yeah, that might be why I appear refreshed because I think tapping closer to the truth, maybe.
um, dare to share. It's a full moon in Scorpio. There's nothing less to be expected other than, and it's coming in a
Yeah.
yod with Sun and Venus. So there will be and Saturn.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yod
Hmm.
means intense, powerful, faithful, or destined truth coming up. So expect this to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just feeling oh, just feeling overwhelmed and a little bit suppressed anger and some um yeah, like yesterday, for example, I was home with the kids and it was raining here and I was constantly moving, like cleaning up, cooking a meal, doing this, doing this, doing this. And it just felt like the list of things between what they were doing, like the messes and everything. And then also it just in my mind, just feeling like this list growing of things that need to get done while I'm still like completely engaged 20 like this 24/7 activity. And I was like, oh, this will kill me. Like I'm gonna die from this. Um, yeah. So that's a big part of it, being pregnant, imagining another one in the mix feels pretty overwhelming. I think that's normal to feel that. Um, and then I have like this like this skin thing popping up again, the staph, which when you look it up, like psychologically it points to suppressed anger. I'm like, am I really suppressing my anger? Um, and then I imagine like, oh, I need to be like yelling or hitting something. But I think it's just like having a conversation and just sharing. And I was able to talk with Carly last night, and it's uh it's nice to connect with her on a level of like, hey, this is where I'm at. I don't know if it's the truth, but it's my current truth.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I'm feeling it's funny how just being able to express and connect in that way kind of you just feel I feel a little bit lighter after, even though nothing has changed, really. So that's where I'm at.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's almost like it's dying to for fresh air.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
Fresh air.
inside, it's like it wants to breathe in the fresh air. So we have this phrase, and there's nowhere to go when you're underneath your skin and it's crawling.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's legit crawling. So you can't run away. Wow.
Yep.
So, but do you have you know what I love about this? Well,
Tell
actually,
me.
about you specifically. I think you're so open to be vulnerable and so willing to experience rather than being aware that this is happening and staying in that, though you have to express it outwardly somehow to release it. But you're very aware men, you know,
Yeah. Well, thank
and
you.
very tuned in to and very unashamed to be vulnerable with your feelings because you are human. You're not a different from a female too much.
Yeah.
when it comes to experiencing life. And it is always going to be different and it's never going to be the same as long as you have that someone who you can actually talk this through. Sometimes it's just the head, honestly. Nine out of
Hmm.
10 is just in the head, pressing, suppressing, like making it small. And you almost have to, how I think of it, because this week I had a lot of friends that did the exact same thing. It's like you almost have to have someone that is there, but yet you're saying all of this so you can hear yourself. It almost comes
Hmm.
back to you, and that loop does something wonders, as if you're talking out loud to yourself rather in front of someone who
Hmm.
is just there, being ear. It's so beautiful. But I think you're gifted with the ability to do this. Really
Oh,
cool.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. Um, yeah, I
I love that
notice.
you're sensitive. I love that you're sensitive. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I notice that I often think that I'm having the conversation in my head, and I think that that can lead to the I'm like maybe that's what suppression is thinking I have it figured out or thinking I've already gotten it off my chest with myself because we play these loops like, oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed, but here's the reality. So what are you gonna do with it? And then it's like we think like, okay, that's solved, you know. Meanwhile, it's festering and it keeps popping up. So really, there's something critical about using the voice with another that brings it,
Okay.
that's it brings the emotion with it. It allows a deeper, the tone speaks so much to our
Yeah.
nervous system, like it's revealing. So yeah, it's critical to be able to share with another, and I'm sure you're it's nice to have a stable friend for the people that come to you and want to get things off their chest too. I was thinking, I'm like, is this Uranus and Gemini? Because I'm not going to be able to make 7 years of this. Like, holy cow.
Oh, yes.
Holy cow. I'm like, I
It
thought
is.
Saturn, Neptune, Pisces was hard. This is crazy.
Oh, yeah. But this is crazy. You're young, literally. This is my midlife
Yeah,
crisis, and it's kind of hit me hard. But I'm laughing about it. In all of this, sometimes, okay, can I just say something? I love you so much.
I love you too.
So much. My heart beats with your heart. We tune into the heart right away. And
Hmm.
it is the skill.
Hmm.
It's the skill. We are not even in the head. We're really trying really hard to logically explain our states. But when you
Yeah.
tune into the heart, the head is gone. And all of this, Uranus, in the head, in the head, in the hand, you know, I feel for people that cannot t- drop into the heart. The heart knows how to open, it wants to be seen. The head
Hmm.
wants to hide. It's wild. And this like click between the two that will never meet, never heal, never be forever that way, stable. Actually, it's destabilizing. It's supposed to destabilize one way so you can find the stableness in the other side of you. And I think this is that duality that we're always talking about. So to be able to say it out loud to someone, sometimes and most of the time, you only need that calm conversation
Yeah.
because it's all of our words. When
Hmm.
we feel things, when you feel things, there's no words needed for it. You just feel it. You're just melting into the core of it. But the head, it needs to get out. It needs the refreshed air. It needs to be, it needs to open the windows. It
Hmm.
literally needs to
Hmm.
open the windows for us. So sometimes it's the beautiful. If you can find a conversationalist, I think, especially when in head, especially with this transit, you're healing by just having a conversation. It's
Hmm.
true. And we don't have to go there and breathe and dig into the trauma. Where is this child coming from? Is this like that comes naturally anyway, if you ask
Yeah.
me, but to be able to actually exchange, and this exchange means the loop back to your ears, the loop back into your ears. It's so powerful. So I'm I would love to exchange. This is why I think this is really helpful and healing for
Hmm.
both of us on a very different levels that we're not even aware. Just a simple
Hmm.
conversation, 1 hour.
Yeah.
So 2 years later, I say, I love you. I've never, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean. You feel it. So,
No,
um,
I'm ready for it. I'm aware of it. I think in your home country, it's uncommon to say that to a friend, I would guess.
no, yeah, we don't say.
Yeah. So I think that's why it's harder for
Well,
it's
it's too common
not
here.
natural. Yeah, yeah. And then you're living somewhere where everybody says it all the time.
Even your neighbor. Oh,
You get a
don't lie
coffee
to
and
me.
they say, "Yeah, love you."
Don't lie. Lying. Um, but can we touch base on Uranus in Gemini? What do you think it is?
What do you mean?
What do you think it's going to bring? This is your seventh house, right? No,
No,
s-
third,
fourth or fifth.
third and fourth, I think. Let me check. What is it gonna bring? Um, well, I've been thinking like, oh, the ability to speak to animals, the ability to
Wow,
hear the trees, the ability to, language. Um, Gemini,
I like.
Gemini third and fourth. Yeah. So that's one aspect. Technology, of course. Um, but that might speak more to like Aquarius, so it's hard to say. Um,
But
yeah,
yours is
like
happening. Mhm.
go ahead.
Yours is happening on your lower part of your chart, which is a, a lot of internal language,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
your
Mm-hmm.
private language, how you talk to you two
Yeah.
thoughts, lots of thoughts.
Yeah, thoughts. And for me, I've noticed in the past few years the thoughts of others come through occasionally. Um, so maybe more of that for me. It's like I'm hearing it in my mind, and then I have to decide, or something to act on, or is it something that needs to be said? Is it something that, or is it just noise? It's just more noise. Um,
Mhm. So
yeah.
good.
Also, being on the fourth house is interesting for me because, it's close to my Chiron, close to the South Node, all of that stuff.
Oh, sir.
So helping me to kind of get ready for that North Node return and going more 10th house. Yeah, I'm so curious.
Nice. I love it. I know how you have it all planned, but it's hitting you in one of your veins.
Yeah.
And this one goes the deepest. It's the most deeper vein in the chart. So you're
Mm-hmm.
icy,
Mm-hmm.
like your deepest point of the chart, which holds the entire chart.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
this discovery of your truth, and Uranus wants to liberate that,
Mm-hmm.
individuate it, free it. Oh, so good.
Yeah. And to do that, it's gotta bring it to the surface, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. 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 To your surface,
Yeah, to
to
my
your
side.
inner eye. So
Yeah,
how'd you like this one? 21. Three looking techniques.
I liked it. Real quick, so it's in your 12th house,
Mm-hmm.
and your Chiron's right there too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's about to cross my ascendant too.
And your ascendant, yeah.
And at the same
Thoughts?
time, I'm gonna have Uranus opposition, Saturn opposition. Mars opposition, and
Mm.
my life is going to change.
Mm.
Um, the 12th
As
house, I
it
think,
already is, right?
uh-huh. Yeah. And more you go against it, well, the Uranus opposition, it's like it needs to reinvent something, and
Yeah.
it will not know what it is because it's going to come unexpected. So the
Hmm.
more you go oppose it, we were talking about earlier how you don't know, is it a repression or suppression, or is it actual fear or whatever happening, right? So where is the end? It feels like there
Yeah.
is no end, and in the mind, there's no end. Actually, it just
Hmm.
continues. It's looping, it's going all over the place. But the end is when the mind stops. That's the end. Um, so to know how to stop the mind is really what will help through this transition. And mine is in the 12th house, which all the unconscious stuff are coming in. Subconscious is coming up front in a language that I have never even consciously even known of ever of. So to me, I might go crazy,
Yeah.
legit. And it's
That's
gonna
how,
be there
yeah.
for 2, 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I
I'm here
love
for
it.
it.
Same. I mean, you're not crazy if there's two people, right? So you're only crazy if you're alone in your own thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then you can,
mm.
this play with infinity is, it's beautiful in one aspect. It's also, uh, quite humorous because the beauty is like, oh yeah, everything's connected and, you know, constantly like if you, and I love this, um, 21. I loved it. I love the looking. It's like the cascading, the rippling out into infinity. Like we're fractal beings. Every aspect is some part of everything. Even time is a local observation of something that is infinite. We can't possibly comprehend. There's like that beauty piece, and then there's also the humor, which is, you know, when I felt stuck and I felt like overwhelmed, like the last thing I want to hear is, well, this is infinite too. But it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Like it's not gonna end, and you find like I find myself kind of sitting in my own soup and wondering how I got there, and there's no answer for, like, I feel like the old ways, at least for me, the old ways of feeling like cause and effect and very structured and very linear is fading quickly. You know, it's like
Mhm.
disintegrating. And yeah, it will drive some of us mad in the process. And that madness is needed because what's on the other side when you finally let go? And you mentioned, um, when the mind stops. And in one of these techniques, when Buddha entered nirvana before his death, it's like you can consciously stop the mind if you're willing to look. And it's the most difficult part is just admitting, or rather not admitting, maybe allowing that to unfold. And how, of course, Moon and Scorpio, so it's contemplation and close to death, and what does it mean to die? And yeah, interesting.
Mm. And for it, there's no reason at all for it. So, what is the reason for your curiosity? Why are you so curious about knowing, finding if what's the cause for the, or what is death, right? So, what is the reason for question? Who am I?
Hmm.
There's no reason whatsoever, but it's still with us. With us, it's like it has been with us for a very long time.
Yeah.
And when you really think what grows inside is more space. And the more space I grow, the less I can know. what that space is. Or let me rephrase, the more space I grow, the more I accept no reason,
Hmm.
rather than just, like you said, there's no cause and effect no longer applies. Now it's just happening. And I know I can get mad in my head, but I also know that not everything that I'm having here, I feel. So
Hmm.
this is, yes, it's happening. This is, no, it's actually not happening. So I am totally all over the place, but I'm aware. I'll sidetrack for a second just to tell you something. I love this perspective, and I think it's really, it kind of sums it up. I had the Akashic record with one of the authors of the book, and I was so disappointed by it. But he gave me one sentence, and out of all, I got one sentence because he was high. He was like all over the place, like, "You're not channeling Pleiadians," because it was a Pleiadian channeling.
Uh,
And he said Pleiadians are not here. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. I paid for it and I was hoping and I expected it. But now I'm just, like I gave my time to you. You actually needed it because you were just like, I was just waiting and listening.
hmm.
Anyway, but he said one sentence. And we were talking about the suicide. And we were talking about when the consciousness is shattered. What that means is that there's a rise of this, it comes as a shock. So shock is spread across many different parts and particles, fractals, us consciousness. And your coherent self gets spread out in fractals all over the place. And you no longer can sense yourself as a whole. So you're
Hmm.
spread out across. So this energy, he goes, lives across many different fractals and cannot collect itself. It's is aware that it's everywhere, but not in a coherent state, not in a cohesive or glued consciousness that can move as a whole everywhere. Versus when you are dying or saying goodbye to this form of body and you're entering into a different form, your awareness, which is the actual conscious awareness of yourself as a whole, is moving, right? And that's that
Hmm.
puzzle in the overall puzzle. That's that sand in the entire beach, right? So it's almost like you are aware or conscious that you are moving as a whole. And that as a whole, you're just growing into a bigger space and bigger space and bigger space and bigger space. And I love that perspective because it's so true. When you become aware of what is happening with these two different, three, five, four particles of you that are really just different parts, right? The air is air, the water is water. There are two different elements of self that they don't blend. They meet, but they don't become one. They don't mesh in one. You are awareness of these parts playing while you hold it all together is you're still moving as a whole everywhere you're going, no matter the parts and their roles and what they want to become. I love
Hmm.
that perspective. So in this way, it's like when you're entering into this inner eye and you're looking through it, you're actually aware of your cohesive state. That's how I understood it. And I love that perspective. What do you think about it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're pointing right to the truth, and something that I felt resonant with is like he says when you look at something with the whole, like the bowl technique, he says look at a bowl and not just the sides. But he says also you can do this with people, like look at the whole person and really take it all in. And the thing that happens is you are suddenly brought back to yourself. Like your eyes have nowhere else to go. And it seems very on point to have this discussion about the eyes and how much movement happens with the eyes, that even the eyes move during our sleep when we dream, and they're constantly moving. And it's so I got to practice a little bit because I had to lay with Jace, and I was like, let me try to. I'll close my eyes and try to stop the movement. And I was like, this is really difficult. Like my eyes just, I can. It's not really eyes. Like your eyes become the lens in which you see, and I can just feel Like even replaying memories back, my eyes are moving in that way. Um, so yeah, it's like not until you have this perspective and you take in fully what's in front of you with your eyes and allow a stillness to persist there that you're brought to your own consciousness. And it's like it's cool. I thought there was going to be, from my experience with not just OSHO but other practices, I thought there was going to be kind of this uh rejection of the eyes, of like material, of the physical. And this is of course it's tantra. This is a deep acceptance of and going through it. And I think it just gave me like, and with specifically with the bowl technique, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. um but I resonate a lot with the eyes. With like I experience most things I experience in beauty either from the eyes or the ears for me.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know if I answered
Yeah,
your question or not.
I mean, yeah, and the he's talking here about the physical eyes,
hmm
which most of the time we're conscious about just putting stuff in. He calls them liquid eyes. They move all the time.
hmm
It's never stillness. And the eyes are so liquid that even if you're looking or closing or dreaming, they're moving all the time. That's what you were trying to explain. And I
Yeah.
love that he does touch the base, is that they're the most alive, as if always seeking, but they're not really actively seeking, right? So they're just points, always moving. And it's an active energy that moves inside.
hmm
But I love his differentiation between external, the eyes in which we look, and this energy that flows everywhere. And then when you
hmm
close your eyes, and if you're able to remove all the imagery, imaginary states that your conscious mind is bringing up to you, the memories, the points, the colors, and everything else inside, that energy no longer goes that way. It actually moves inner. And this stillness that he's talking about. And I noticed when I watch his talks, this is where when you look at the audience, you're not really seeing the audience. You're not really seeing the
hmm
person in the audience, these like beings. You're seeing the whole thing. So it almost, whenever you go inside, your eye, it's as if your retina changes and then you just see everything, including periphery. And suddenly the view just becomes much wider because you're looking from the inner eye and you're able to maintain the stillness. That's why he always looks high, in a sense, almost like
Yeah.
sleepy, because he observes with no blinking the entire space altogether and is talking from the inner eye. It has nothing to do with the outer world. Yet these two then connect together. So there's no separation between the two. Love that distinction. Whenever you are inside an inner eye, the separation of the two is gone.
Yeah.
I no longer, and also, so good, so good. And
hmm
also, in the previous ones, he did say, whenever the separation is gone, um, I don't have to explain myself anymore. Meaning, I'm not no longer separated, different, opposing you, and I don't have to elaborate in order for you to understand me. We're one.
mm mm
Mm.
mm Yeah. All the great teachers are closer to death, wouldn't you say?
The death of this, yeah.
hmm And there's a part of that process that allows this deep relaxation to occur. And when I see Osho, he's incredibly relaxed, and that's, his demeanor, his movement, and you can see it in the eyes when the eyes are darting anxious and searching, or and it's not really conscious for most of us. We're not consciously anxious people, but we become um, captured by this movement, which is like very primal in a way, and it's not self-serving. It doesn't extend the lifespan intuitively. It doesn't extend your lifespan to just relax, but you know, it brings you much closer to the truth, and that you are able to fully allow. It has to be an allow. I almost said capture, and I was like, it's not capturing because there's nothing. You're not reaching for anything. It's just allowing. It's just this deep acceptance of what is. And the other day we were at the a beach, and there was a dead fish on the beach, and Luca, being a 6-year-old boy, decided to pop the eyeball out and act cool for his friends. And so he popped the eyeball out, and I was like, just looking at it, and it's just like a lens. It's just like a clear ball. And I was looking at it, and I was thinking about our own eyes. I'm like, oh my God, it's just like something that light shoots through. There's nothing really that complex about it. It's quite a simple mechanism. But then the attachment is what's driving the movement of the muscle. And the attachment is where it seems like the origin of our anxiety lies. You know, when someone's having an anxiety attack, um, at least when I've seen it, the eyes they bulge out, and it's like the overwhelm. And it is this capturing this process that happens. Um, but if you think like the mechanism of the eye, the physical part, isn't the part that's moving, really. It's the connection. It's the nervous system piece in the occipital lobe of the brain that's directing the action. Um, and I've had this deep epiphany in the last few days around nervous system and how it drives everything. And it's a simple realization. It's not profound by any means. It's just like someone said, I think I was on Instagram, and someone said it's most people think their flexibility comes from the muscle tissue itself. And it's really not about that. It's when you do a yoga class, or you do a high dose of psilocybin or something, and you find that you're able to move in ways that you were not able to move before. It's because your nervous system is relaxed enough that it can access that range of motion. And I was thinking about like men typically are stiff, and women tend to be more uh, pliable and movable. And it just goes back to nervous system. And then it like that realization dawned in a really deep way, like, oh, this isn't physical material limitation. This is completely from my spinal cord, my brain tissue. And then it was like, oh, everything is this ease. It's just the inability to relax, to be at
Mm.
ease. And it it tells the story of everything. It's the root cause of everything that happens to us, and it comes from us. Um, so yeah, like there's a deep piece from watching Osho, because you get this transmission from his eyes that I mean, you can hear it in his voice quite a bit, but yeah, there's something really unique about seeing him. And I think it's uncomfortable for a lot of people. I think that's why, in the documentary, like the people of the town, they don't know they think he's like evil or has a nefarious purpose or is casting spells, because they can't imagine someone can be so relaxed and not have this background chatter or some ulterior motive running in the background. Yeah.
Mm. It always reminds me of the Plato's allegory of a cave.
Yeah.
And also to add to that, it's not the open-minded or a almost like I'm talking about different intelligence, like someone who knows more that will kill you. It's the someone who is small-minded that will kill the ones that know a little bit more. So you're almost like the more you know and the more you realize yourself, the more in danger you are.
Mm.
Speaking of
Mm.
OSHO too, exact same way. It's like such knowledge or relaxation. No, but listen, our path is to realize ourselves, to get to know, to understand, to accept. That's just very much you're gonna get there sooner or later, and you're gonna stand out.
Mm. Yeah.
And by that
It's
time, you're gonna be comfortable with actually being gone for that same reason.
mm.
Because at that time, it wouldn't even matter because it's all the same. You will know that there's nothing to fear about. And the less you fear, the more fearful they are of you. And to me, that's so fascinating. It's like,
Mm.
that is so mind blowing that you are
Mm.
afraid of your own self, your own mind all this time. And you're really working so hard to not even go to that drop in deeper.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
I have a hope that this will actually change with these in the next millennia. So hope meaning I may be crazy to really give a benefit of the doubt for the humans, majority of us that have the capacity. Especially now you go on Instagram and you actually hear people give a good advice, you know.
Mm.
It's like
Mm.
these are bombs and statements that are saying maybe they read them somewhere, but we no longer talk about it much of things that don't matter. We're actually talking about exact matter of what matters. And you can find a
Mm.
lot of info. A lot of people are thinking outside the box. So it's
Mm.
happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Osho says that which is highest is the most delicate, and that's something that stuck with me. You know, like a butterfly
Yeah,
is
so
such
good.
a beautiful
Because it's
state, but
innocent.
it's so fragile. Yeah, and the fragility doesn't mean that it's lesser. It's part of the nature of what is higher is it becomes more delicate. So as you say, as we awaken to a deeper realization of ourselves, we, in a sense, become more delicate to those who are uh, more brutal and direct and impatient. And I think we experience this collectively. It feels that some of that's happening, and also on an individual level as well. And there's, even with our relationship with ourselves, we experience it. It's like this level, like what I just went through, and I'm realizing, what fear am I experiencing and what purpose is there? And as soon as I stop asking what the purpose of it is, the realization dawns in my nervous system because it's just another layer of relaxation. And in order to unlock that, the key has to be poked into the hole, which hurts, and it has to be twisted, which doesn't feel good, and then the door opens. So it's just like, the prodding, and speaking collectively, like the prodding of AI and what it means for artistry and expression, originality. And we have the conversation is growing, and a lot of people are willing to put up a resistance to the loss of creativity itself. And I think it you know, it's only through the pain that we can unlock something new. So I
Oh,
say that as trying to be wise, but I'm also experiencing it firsthand and hating every part of it, or not hating, but you know, this is Uranus and Gemini.
okay. Great. Which is gonna bring a question mark for a lot of things. So it is open debate. So finally, we have Uranus that wants to debate. Let's debate about it. Debate, but what is debate? You are bringing up the argument and you're just discussing it and philosophizing about it. So that's a good conversation. Only through you said only through suffering will we actually um evolve.
Yeah, I would say pain. Sorry to argue.
Oh, please, let's
I would
argue.
just say I would say pain, um, because suffering is like another layer on top.
Even that I question.
Sure.
I question because it is not always the case. I
Hmm.
don't, I am also naturally not here to suffer all the time. And I'm also naturally, by just being me, here also to be happy, of playful, funny,
Hmm.
innocent, idiotic in nature, a little foolish. That's
Hmm.
not suffering. That is daring. That is innocent to me.
Hmm.
And in those moments of self, I also find the highs of my joy, not only joy, but also myself. I'm high on not suffering. But we are so programmed to think that through suffering only will we be. And that I literally go like, no, invalid. I question that because I didn't have to suffer through some seasons of my life to reach my highest highs. Yes, I got comfortable through it. And I got stagnating because it was so cozy. But something had to happen to bring me the pulse of life. And that wasn't
Hmm.
suffering all the time. That could have been a correction, like, in the recent times. I mean, since we started talking, it has been a correction and correction and correction. If I call it suffering, I would be a victim of my life.
Yeah.
And rather than having an experience of my life and just being a player or just a traveler, you really, when you travel somewhere, it's not, you actually are entering into the unknown. You never know what can occur.
Hmm.
And you're adventurous about it. So that word suffering, we don't have to go and re-traumatize over and over again. And this is the case that this is the reason why through the coaching, yes, but I don't have to go down and dig out all the time by force. I've digged out so much by force for the entire program, like so much of
Hmm.
it, because I had to tune in and dig out. I had to tune in to dig out. Did I really grew from it? I can't tell. I really can't tell. I was more comfortable with it. It's true. I'm comfortable to go down deeper, but I don't have to dig out all the time, suffering in order to be happy
Hmm.
by nature. So I put a question mark to it.
Yeah.
I think that
Absolutely.
sounds very Christian, religious. Through
Wait.
suffering will you find.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
send me
yeah,
to
yeah.
hell. Send me to
No,
hell.
that's
If
yeah.
that's the way to go to heaven, send me to
Hmm.
hell.
Yeah, but it's the religious distortion has an origination in truth, which is life has pain, and it's like we experience hardship. It doesn't mean the religious twist is like, and you deserve it because you suck. It's like, no, it's not. I don't accept that, but yeah.
Yeah, true. Curious, your children, are they most of the time happy?
Oh God, how do I answer that question?
Up to four, when they become actually conscious of their thoughts. Slowly start realizing, oh, I have my thoughts. I can say back. I can manipulate my dad to give me what I want. Up to that point.
Yeah, there's so much complexity. Uh, like the complexity that they experience and express. It feels exponential in watching their development. So as like baby, like 0 to 1, it's like tears and giggles and smiles. And then 1 to 2, it's like a bit more happiness, but quite a lot of like frustration and not being able to move around or yeah, I don't know. It's hard to answer that. And they personality wise, they're all so different too. Like right now, Luca is really getting activated. His Aries moon, Jace is Gemini, um, Gemini sun. He's really getting activated in Scorpio rising, where he is like annoyed with everything, and Luca's like just just like he'll flip him. And Carly lately has been like 3 or 4 times in the last week. She's like, Luca's attitude is not acceptable, and I'm like, honey, he's Aries moon. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I've been saying it. I'm just repeating it to her, just to give her the space to see that I'm okay with it, and I'm like almost expecting it. And then
Mm.
Koa is so earthy, Taurus fixed sign that he's really, really pleasant child for the most part. But when he decides he's not, he can be the toughest to get out of that space. Um, so are they? Yeah, it's like I'm not trying to cop out from the question. It's hard to answer in such a black or white kind of way.
But what I meant more innocent than because they don't know. Right. So there's like a dose of innocence and playfulness with life in that early age before the mind starts having its own thoughts
Mm,
and directing the behaviors
yeah,
or character or persona.
yeah. And then I'm
Innocent, free.
learning. Yeah, for sure. And I'm learning as a parent what that means. And I think I'm starting to see it with Luca being 6.5, where he'll just kind of be staring off into space and looking very melancholy. And it's like new for me. Like, what is that? Like, I'm used to just raw expression or the next thing or wanting or asking for the next thing or doing the next thing. And he's starting to become more internal. And I think with that, there's less outward joy, maybe.
Mm,
Yeah. What makes you bring that up?
we sidetracked normally. Oh, the suffering.
Hmm.
That the evolution or leap or jump into the next level has to come through the dark night of the souls or the constant suffering that they also occur. I think we're not we, but in general, I thought the same, and then I realized through the program that no, I actually am forcing myself to go to the suffering, to do some sort of a painful experience in order for me to a do the metamorphosis into the butterfly so I can fly away. It does not
Hmm.
apply all the time. That's what I'm saying. Our nature comes very innocent, and then everything else on the top is what we think we are supposed to do. But really, if we were to shut off everything that we're supposed to do and really feel our nature, and this comes with that silence, right? To be able to silence the
Hmm.
mind and slow down. There's not much stuff. I mean, this is why Vipassana is so good because these things come up and then they go.
Yeah.
And you're told not to do anything about it. You're literally sitting for 2, 3 hours, not moving even the body. If it gets the itch, you're not to touch the itch.
Hmm.
If something crawls underneath your skin, you are just observing.
Hmm.
So these things come and go, and we're not. That's not our nature. Our nature is not like very calm. Actually, very peaceful. Our
Hmm.
nature is very peaceful. Our nature is very peaceful. That's why we're innocent in nature when we're, yes, we are hungry, we cry when we're babies. We need the touch, we need that emotional connection because we are very vulnerable. And without it, we will not survive. We need a parent. But our nature, I'm not talking about the parents and all we have to do. Our nature in its essence is just really peaceful
Hmm.
and blissful, right? And
Hmm.
then we learn how not to do that our life. And then we get to a point where we have to unlearn what we learned. So the whole life is just unlearning that program.
Yes. And I think the program being the origin of the disease and the disorder itself. Um, Because if you think like
Yeah.
it is our nature, so why aren't we born into a completely relaxed nervous system? It's like, oh, because we have genetic memory, we have collective trauma, we have the familial patterns that are passed down, and that it gets passed down through parenting. Also, it's just like through the sperm entering the egg, like it's just um part of that nature too. Yeah,
So when he
we
brings this
spin.
technique with the inner
Hmm.
eye, to spin it right back in the beginning, um,
Hmm.
this is where that same in nature shows up.
Hmm.
Um, so I wanted to just bring the example of when this occurs that I am not conscious about. So often when I contemplate, I look to the sky. You know, these moments when you just get lost into this one thought and then you're not blinking, you're just pausing, everything stops, and you just I love these moments. And you literally just get lost into this whole space that it's huge. And mind stops, you're almost stop you're almost stop breathing. You don't blink. Your eyes, your pupils are just widening. You're entering into this universe of yours. To me, this is how it feels when you're in inner eye. It's a pause in timeline. Everything
Hmm.
stops. And you don't know how long it lasts. When did it start? You're actually not even aware on when it ends until you get in your head and you're like, oh my God. How
Hmm.
often do these moments happen to you?
Maybe a few times a week. I mean,
So cool. Do you
yeah.
contemplate about them?
I just when they happen, I desire, of course, the desire to have more of it comes up or like continue to manifest it. Um, but I notice it comes when I'm the most relaxed typically. So I just make a mental note when I remember if I can relax enough, then this state can occur. How
Hmm.
about you?
You see, so my mind is gone. I don't know how often they happen, but when they happen, what I'm aware of when my mind kicks in. And then I realize
Mm,
what just happened. I just got lost in my own world in which I was really peaceful, and the breath also goes subtle. You
yeah.
barely even feel your breathing. You're literally as if you're entering into your whole world. To me, this is how to me, this might be the death,
Mm,
the state in which you completely just are. So these are small little glimpses. So I get excited when I become aware that they just occurred. But
mm,
in the bubble and the space you enter in this field, I I I am gone.
yeah.
And this is a natural phenomenon that happens to us all the time.
Hmm.
I love
Hmm.
that, the little reminders, little glimpses of possibilities.
Yeah. Was it in this text or am I pulling something else where someone had a glimpse of this experience of what it means to die, and then he said, if this is death, then I look forward to it. I only want to experience it again and again and again.
Mm.
Was that
Um,
here?
I
Oh,
don't
wow.
recall.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, did I read this? Did I dream it? Did I listen to it? I don't
So
know.
good. Do you trust it?
Yeah, oh yeah, like probably too much. I think the
Mm.
Piscean nature, yeah. I
Love trusts. So much love
yeah.
has nowhere else to go than to trust everything.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and I think I feel that that trust that you're talking about also exists on the complete opposite side of suffering or victimization, when you're like, because I could say like, who's planting this in my
No.
thoughts? Who's orchestrating the whole thing? Or why am I a part of this system? that doesn't seem suited for humanity or for this experience, or you name any number of the slave-like, control system, whatever. But on the other side, it's like, oh, there's a deep trust that underlying all of it is for my benefit. And of course, there's a question of Stockholm syndrome where you fall in love with your captor. It's
Mm,
like, oh, is this a way that we justify our state of suffering, our states of suffering, or our role in the greater ethos? But
hmm.
but there's late
Good point.
then it's like that subtle layer where I'm like again questioning, and then again leaning into trust, and again doubting, like, am I going crazy for just relaxing into what's happening because my family's freaking out, or this person tells me I should be worried? And
Oh,
then, it's like just unfold it more and more and more. It becomes so delicate. I get chills.
I know. But why do you get chills?
Well, if you think about the most delicate thing, if you feel delicate and it chills, I don't know. Well, that's a good question. My mind tries to answer before my body comes online.
I think, okay, if you doubt, it's a virtue. If you believe, like everybody else is telling you, it's a fear.
Hmm.
So to doubt and be the only one that doubts while everybody else is full of fear, it's kind of dangerous. So you
Yeah.
get chills because you're playing living dangerously,
Yeah.
dare to doubt. Exactly. Like doubt. I want to doubt. I doubt everything. I doubt everything. I even doubt what I'm saying, which is
Hmm.
so cool because with this Uranus in Gemini, if you believe what you're saying, you're out. You have to learn how to doubt even your own thoughts.
I'm so
Doubt,
glad you said that.
doubt. Hmm.
I'm just glad you said that because, uh, like I pointed to in the beginning, this infinity can be beautiful. It can also be terrifying. And there's an element of like, even my old self would want to kind of unpack an infinity and like, here, look, I can talk about it and I understand it and I got the concept. I've captured infinity. And now it's very clear. Like I find myself at the end of a rope or hanging on by one hand off a cliff. And there's like this element of trust that if I let go, I'll be good. I don't know if I'm going to fall or if I'm going to crash or if I'll catch myself again. But there's just an element of like holding on to this. I know, like now I know holding on is the worst thing I can do here. Yeah. And more so than ever, it's like what I say is bullshit. Like what
Okay.
yeah, 7 years of us spinning in circles and then going, oh, yeah.
But also, the language can become something else. That's why the words mean nothing. They will mean less and less. The meaning that we gave to
Hmm.
the words will mean less and less because we are more intelligent. Wait. So we are more aware. To me, this intelligence is the whole body. It's not just the mind and knowledge.
Hmm.
It's also life intelligence, right? So experiential intelligence, heart intelligence. So it's you name it. There's so much more than just the mind. So language will change. The way we talk will change. I don't want to talk to someone who thinks he knows everything. I cannot. I want to talk to someone who's open to hear me as well and
Hmm.
accept the difference or give me a sentence in which I can enter and elaborate contemplative th thinking or not concentrated, contemplative, reflective. I want to create a story of one word, not give it one meaning and close it off for good.
Hmm.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Write that
So,
down.
but you see how it's coming up because I'm not here anymore. So I think our language is going to change and we will start talking different language. We will tune into each other's language of the body, of the subtleness, of the silence.
Hmm.
It's going
The
to liberate our possibility, our potential. It's going to liberate our potential to be more than just this, to actually free ourselves from this. To me, that means this is all meaningless.
yeah.
That's
Really.
exciting,
Hmm.
dangerous. It's all dangerous.
Dangerous.
Ah,
Yeah. It's
you
music.
know,
We're making music.
yeah.
Well, making is, yeah, I don't feel like we're making. It's actually just coming through us.
So good. Ah, did we go away from it? Can we talk about the inner eye? Okay.
Yeah, we talk about any of it. I mean, the
Okay,
topic is looking, so we're not technically we're never going away from it. We're always looking.
it's true. Oh, okay. I have a question I wanted to ask you. Are you comfortable looking into people's eyes while talking to
Hmm.
them? Do you
Yeah.
actually look into their eyes or do you look into their mouth or nose or somewhere else around the face?
I'm an eye looker, and I don't know if I'm like, am I autistic or whatever? I don't know. I've never tested, but I tend to look in people's eyes. But if I notice, if I can feel that they're getting really uncomfortable, then I'll kind of like relax. I'll look the other way or do something else. But I
So
tend
good.
to just like lock in.
Pierce. Um, I tend to look, so I find myself looking into the person but not seeing the person. Okay,
Hmm.
let me elaborate. I had a very long period of time in my life, in the last 10, 15 years, where I would just look into the beauty of the lips.
Yeah.
And I was mesmerized by the way the lips moved, all these muscles around, and I would just look into the lips. It's
It's so romantic.
yeah, because it's like it produces the sound, it moves every time differently. It was just, and the if you have a beautiful smile, extra
Yeah.
bonus, I would just be in awe of this beauty in this little
Yeah.
mini. My mom is dentist, so I have this,
Hmm.
deformed way of looking at it. I would admire it. There's so much to admire in lip. And there's also so much to admire when they're actually lifted up, meaning when they're so alive that they're going upwards in a smile rather than just being so dulled down and barely even moving. Because you will see that in the lip area, the gravity really takes a hold
Yeah.
of you if you're not smiling. It tells that you're not really happy all the time, or even a
Hmm.
little bit of the time if you have. So I used to look into lips all the time. I would barely even look into someone's eyes unless I'm intimate with someone. And when I'm intimate with someone, I would just stay there in the soul behind it. And I would just go into the world and, oh, so good. But I
Hmm.
noticed and I became aware that I'm looking into the beauty and exactly as if how he explains, looking into the audience, you see everything at once as a whole. It doesn't matter where I look at. So, to go back up to the eye is where the intimacy of are you invited or not comes in.
Hmm.
And the other day at the gym, I coaches want to work out with me. I don't know if I told you this. They just want to work out with me.
Yeah.
So they kind
You're
of want to
magnetic.
sand. I think I push them a lot because I'm expecting them to be better than me. They're a coach. So they always have to lift heavier. And I'm like, okay, because they know where I am already. And so they always roll the eyes. But as we were lifting, we were doing, and so rather than being like this, I just turned towards her. and she turned towards me and we were so close and I was like, it's, and she goes, you're so intense. I was like, I, because her eyes were so beautiful. And I looked into her
Mm.
eyes and I started laughing. She held the look. And I was
Mm.
like, oh my God, I like the intensity. Like, zzz, there's electricity
Mm.
coming in. And I was like, do you feel buzzing? She goes, I'm so uncomfortable. And I'm like, I love it. I love the intensity of it. And we had so much fun. But though we laughed about it and joked about it, what actually happened is that we became friendlier. We
Mm.
actually became a little bit more intimate in nature. We were closer to each other and we were more friendlier, safer. Something occurred in the eye where the safety was just mute, yet accepted on both sides. It is so powerful to look into people's
Mm.
eyes. So,
Mm.
do you find all this to say, do you find the similarities? You know, you're a man, it's different when you look into men's eyes versus women's eyes. So tell me your experience.
Yeah. And when you share that experience, I was just reflecting about what goes through my mind, and I can feel that there's a point in time in which there's like a safety, there's a question around safety or intimacy on the other side of safety, intimacy, and I tend to shy away from that. I'm just noticing it. I'm recognizing that now, and I wonder if that shying away is something that I'm trying to protect, or if it's something that I'm in a way like helping them feel safe, that I'm not asking them to go deeper than what I feel is comfortable according to the situation or the circumstance. And it's probably a little bit of both. And I also feel like with being having Carly as my person, so to speak, that it's giving away something that, I can unpack that too. Is like, am I actually giving something away?
Mm,
Um, but
that's a
not
good
wanting
one.
to, yeah, like push beyond yeah, I don't know. It's been coming up for me lately of feeling uncomfortable with like just getting to know people, and this tendency to say like, oh, getting to know them means, and then um, pushing all of this attachment and story on top of like, oh, becoming friendly with someone means that this might happen or they might be thinking this, and then I don't want them to think that, so let me just back out and stay in a safe bubble. And you know me, like I tend to be very vulnerable. I don't mind sharing. So I question kind of where this is stemming from and what it means for me. Yeah, socially,
Mm.
like historically, I've been socially, you could say, awkward or shy or reserved. So it feels in a way I'm stepping into a new world and trying to discover, being very curious, while also I can feel in my nervous system like a lot of caution, a lot of apprehension.
Hmm.
So there's work for me there, I imagine.
Like as if you're doing something wrong by talking to people or by
Yeah,
getting to know them.
yeah, and just to be candid, like, do I feel this with men? No. It's almost always just with women. So it's some meaning that I'm ascribing to the situation that might not be there, might not be true, or it could be.
Especially nowadays
Yeah.
when
Yep.
men are just popping up in news left and right.
Yep. Hmm.
I was actually thinking about that. Um, and of course, you as a male representative, um, it's very easy to apply to all. It's very easy to apply to all. But I will tell you one thing. This is how I think of it. When you know yourself so well,
Hmm.
it actually shows through the eyes
Yeah.
as when you are safe inside. Because I, for a very long time, I thought the way I felt about myself, that everybody has a goodness in them,
Mm.
that every single human being is really good person. And it's very hard. I'm going through a transitional way of thinking that that is not the case. So it's
Yeah.
very hard for me to accept that. Right. So, but I am learning to get comfortable with actually really having, they're mean people. And
Hmm.
even the way I say it, it's so nice. Right. So, but that is also the truth to me. That is also something that I have not seen yet is a possibility that it can be. So I am getting more and more comfortable to understand that, I can be as honest as possible, as truthful in integrity with my own heart and soul as much as possible. But my job is actually to get to know me. And when you look into my
Mm.
eyes, you're going to see who I know.
Mm.
My eyes are gonna reveal me.
Hmm.
My eyes are going to show, am I timid to talk to you? It doesn't matter the gender. Or am I confident because I stand in my integrity no matter what? And even if there's an electricity, which is natural and normal, or if there is a chemistry, which is not only sexual, hello, it can also
Hmm.
be stimulative, it can also be creative, it can also be spiritual, it can also be a debative, a contemplative, like in many different ways. It's like, oh, but do I know who I am to stand without attaching to that, which just stimulated me in one or the other way, mentally, heartfully, bodily? Like it doesn't matter. The stimuli is everywhere. You can get stimulated by anything, but I'm applying something that I believe, and I don't doubt. That's why I say if you're a doubtful person, even about yourself, you have a lot of qualities inside of you. If you believe this is you, you're not growing. The belief stops you in your tracks. You're not going anywhere. You're just repeating the same belief. I want to doubt what I feel, but I want to
Mm.
actually discover also what is me? Who am I? What is my integrity? Can I stay in that integrity? Can I tell you I love you? And I mean it. And you can I stay in my commitment to what I value in my life, what I want to have devotion for, no matter what. But that has to come with the self-discovery. So anywhere else you go, the trust to you will show through your eyes.
Hmm.
Especially now when men are almost crucified across left and right on fire, you're burning. And you have this uprising of anger from women that is suppressed for so many years that are coming in. It's very vocal, it's very loud, it's very public,
Yep.
totally not shameful anymore. It comes as a revolution. And in
Hmm.
revolution, there's death, there's ending. Something will end. It will end. A lot of that will happen. This is for every single, it's a war, it's internal war that is happening, and it's very much powerfully coming as an energy out, and there's no more. So this now is you're almost like nowhere else to go than to be in your own integrity, but you have to know what that is. So there's nowhere else to go other than inside to get to know yourself. And when you do, it shows through your eyes. Eyes as the door to the soul. The soul speaks. No more program, no more male gender, no more apply to all. The soul speaks.
Yeah.
I trust you. To
Yeah.
me,
Thank you.
you represent because you're vulnerable and you're willing and you're not shy. And that's why I said in the beginning, it's like you're such a joy to talk to be in your presence. You listen, you contemplate, you're open to change, you cry. And I'm not saying be all the feminine, but you have so much feminine heart qualities inside of you that this is the new way. You don't have to go there and conquer the world and take over the countries for me to tell me you love me. No, be human.
Yeah.
Give me your soul. Let me see that you have a human side, a soul, and a heart. Let me see that inside of you. And where else can I see it? Actually, I can
Hmm.
see it here. And I can also hear it through your voice, your way of talking. But you
Hmm.
can't, and can I just add this? You can't just learn how to do this. You
Yeah,
can't just
absolutely.
read books and talk different language, that's politics. You
Hmm.
have to feel this. You have to
It's nervous
experience
system.
yourself as it. Yeah. So don't
Hmm.
no politics, actually. I
Don't
don't want to hear the
politicize it.
lies.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wonder if that morphogenic field, like the cultural zeitgeist and also like the pain that I've seen so many women, I've heard their stories and I've seen so many women go through. And I think that might be part of the apprehension and why I don't bother with like, because ultimately what I feel is the man's role and is really good at is offering presence, like a presence that can't be moved and that allows for a woman to express in a full way and have her experience and connect and she can move all around. My friend said the man is like a mountain and the woman is like the sea. It's like, that presence offers something and the woman offers something back. Um,
I love that.
yeah. And I can feel like I have this presence to share, but then I can also like hear the thoughts. I can see it in the eyes. I can feel discomfort. And I'm like, maybe the presence right now is too much to bear. Maybe it's, yeah.
That's why say there's no sin or whatever. I don't even know the other word for it. Nothing wrong with saying it out loud. If I
Hmm.
make you comfortable, this is my intention. This is where I come from. And I want to explain. Like saying it out loud transparently, it's a radical honesty with self and radical honesty with that person. You're putting all your cards on the table and there's nothing to hide. I think this transits are going to invite us to use our words as a safety as well, not as a weapon anymore. Rather than
Hmm.
I'm going to tell you how I feel, and I'm not going to shy away from it. And this is what make you're not trying to justify your experience. You're actually saying your intention. This is where my heart sits, and I want if this is uncomfortable for you, it's okay to not talk,
Hmm.
right? But at least you're transparently open. And then he
Yeah.
just disappears.
Just had to shut the door.
Ah,
Sorry.
she's gone. Right. But being willing to say the truth of where you come from, because everything is assumption unless it's spoken.
Hmm.
I wouldn't know what you're feeling unless you tell me. I can just assume. That's all I can do about you.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And that's something I don't do in that moment, because I can feel a lot and I don't always know how to communicate that. And having as sensitive as I am, I also have Mercury in Aquarius, which is not always sensitive. So I
So,
sometimes I find myself saying something, I'm like, I'm just gonna stop talking. I don't know what's happening. It doesn't always connect.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're complex.
yeah.
It's easier to have Mercury in metaphorical expression of Pisces.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
Mm.
maybe it's maybe I'm doing it perfectly well and that I don't need to speak. I can just offer the space for it and if it comes up. It's like I can respond really well when I have someone who is already there, but the origination for me comes out, it can be very cold or very direct, like just leap into it and it throws people off. So I think what I've learned, and I'm having this conversation with myself of like, is the discomfort theirs or is it actually mine? Is it mine because I know? or I've had experiences where I go there and it's not reciprocated. And then it's also too like, how do I handle rejection? It doesn't always mean romantic rejection. It can just mean like the words that I chose aren't landing, and then
Mm. No one
it's
laughs
awkward.
at your jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. Jokes are just for me. Yeah.
But can I ask
Please.
if that's what you were told many times over and over, it sounds like, or
Hmm.
refused or rejected from speaking, what would you be if that wasn't gone and not there? How would you express yourself? How would you talk? What would you say?
Uh,
Would you just be blunt? Would you have a moment to think what you're about to say? Formulate it differently?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Because it sounds like initial responses, oh no, I'm not gonna keep quiet. But to me, that sounds like you're closing off your gift.
Yeah. And I've had, when I did my MBA, I remember just feeling so shy in that peer group because I was younger than everybody and I felt like I was out of place. Like I was they were they had all these high roles in their companies and they were in interesting companies and I was just like a bank teller at the time. And I just felt like I didn't belong and I didn't have anything to contribute. But I remember a few times my professors and peers were like, "You have good things to say. We just need to hear you more." And I'm like, I hear the message, but I don't always feel like that is true. Like when I go to contribute or when I do say something, it's like everybody stops. But when I see everyone else talking, there's like this continuation. It's like they're part of the song and I'm like starting a new song and I'm like, it's just uncomfortable. I think that's what it is. It's just very uncomfortable. And I can hear, I'm so aware now too of like throat chakra, voice, and what being quiet and like this, I can feel like this tightening that's happening around the vocal cords and how that connects to my breath, how that connects to my sexuality, how that connects to the whole system. Yeah. We're doing more than just OSHO today.
Yeah. But can I just ask? I have to ask, um, if a what about them not saying anything freaks you out,
uh,
freezes you? Do you need the
I'm
feedback?
just, yeah, it's almost like I feel like I'm left on an island. And then there's like, so I can remember this one time when I said, I just jumped into the conversation in the MBA specifically. And I said, well, I was like, your intuition doesn't lie. And everybody stopped because that wasn't the point that people were debating. And the professor was like, say that one more time. And I was like, your intuition doesn't lie. Like whatever is coming up for you is true in the moment. And then they're all just looking at me. And then someone says something and then they continue. But I don't feel like after that, I didn't really feel invited to, it wasn't like, oh, let's talk about that topic. And I think what happens is like with you, I feel very welcomed. I feel very comfortable. I feel like whatever I bring forward, you'll kind of play with and you'll play tennis with me. And in a lot of settings that wasn't happening. So I was just like, oh, I feel like my contribution goes, it like kind of it takes away from whatever they're doing.
For surface talk,
Yeah.
as it should. So just so just so we hear ourselves and you hear you too. What you're saying is really smart, intelligent, deep, wise. That's Mercury in Aquarius. It is not, it's meant to disrupt
Mm.
the stupid, simple, idiotic, unnecessary, ordinary.
Trite.
But you get freaked out because there's no feedback, right? So it's about you closing this wisdom necessary for humanity. And this, like, how you work through that, through the
Yeah.
silence that echoes. You know, I said this many times, truth is shocking, but it's also profound.
Mm.
It echoes. It's a seed placed that who knows may change the generations ahead. And you'll never know. And that's the beauty of Aquarius. They actually have no idea that they're smart. Unless you have a God complex, please don't get there. To think that you're all smart, right? And that only you know everything because they're so unique. The God complex will show up when you
I grew
are,
up with that.
but
I grew up that with that when I was a teenager, but yeah.
yeah. And that is real for them. It's almost like they're so detached from feeling anything that they really see that's they see the exact same thing that they change the whole collective by just one sentence and they're not even aware. It actually is pure channeling. And when it becomes channeling, it's actually the wisdom that needs to be heard in collective. The fact that you're smart, I will sign off on it. Very intelligent. The fact that you're also soft about it, I will also veto. It's like almost like this is true for you, but your reaction to it is a closing off the wisdom that everybody
Yeah.
else needs. And I think
Mm.
that fear there of being laughed at or rejected, that's that little mini, tiny little space in which we need to break through because we need to hear you. We need
Mm-hmm.
to hear you. We need to hear you. I love when you drop bomb. I love it. You pulled
Mm-hmm.
me out of my track, and pulling out of the track means pulling out of what it's not necessary. I don't want to talk about unnecessary things. It's like it's just so not important. There are things that are just spinning us in circles. So we need this wisdom that comes in and disrupts the ways. That's your
Mm.
Mercury and Aquarius. You're meant to do that.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. You will pair with Gemini's big deal.
Yeah.
Gemini rising because they can wrestle with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what stimulates you. You need an intellect, a high intellect. The Mercury, higher octave of Mercury is Uranus, which is Gemini. Uranus, meaning Mercury and Gemini, the high level of intellect. You want to be challenged with your way of thinking. You're looking forward to it. That's why you're comfortable because we can wrestle. We can wrestle, and you can be you, I can be me. Nobody's changing anything. But this rejection feeling is like you need to trust that what you're talking more
Mm-hmm.
because it's wise.
Yeah. And it's almost like when I'm not in the arena with someone who's wrestling with me, I don't want to contribute because it's not wrestling then. It's just me. It's like people start to put me on a pedestal. And I'm like, no, no, no. Like, I'm not,
I'm not your guru.
I don't want to be the person. And it's almost like I find a discomfort with having the only sole idea and there's no questioning, there's no like chewing on it. There's just like, wow, that was really insightful. And I'm like, yeah, and do you have anything? Otherwise I'm gonna leave.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. I think like you mentioned God complex and the feeling that I am being put on a pedestal is like I think it's terrifying because when I felt this way, I felt very alone. Like when I think I'm better than everybody or I figured it out, like it's the most lonely thing. And then I find myself doing things or putting myself in situations where it exacerbates that loneliness. It like creates more of it. Like then I start growing my hair out and I become like emo and I don't talk to people and it's just like I don't want to go back there. And that stemmed from this feeling like I had it all figured out. So
Mm.
it's like either that or it's the feeling that I'm in a pit and everyone's looking down at me. And that produces more anxiety potentially because it's like, oh, now my words are being analyzed and you can throw stones at any moment. And I don't want that either. I want someone who's like there with me getting dirty. So it's like we can share the stones together if we need to, or we can share the pedestal together if we need to. But
Mm.
I
I
don't want
love that.
either. Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. I
Why?
appreciate it. It's just helping me to see more of myself. You know, and the I've had these moments of deep discomfort, and then there's this internal wrestling I had with like specifically the NBA because it was so clear. It was like such a clear social anxiety I had. And I remember leaving and being like, they're telling me they want me to contribute more. Like everyone keeps saying, like, we want to hear your voice. But when I share my voice, it's like I just am not feeling like they're happy that I contributed. And it's almost like my sensitivity is so high and I'm tuned into that situation so much. And that could be because I'm creating a story, right? Like, oh, I don't have the job. I'm not old enough. I don't have the experience. Therefore, I'm like so tuned. I'm like overly tuned in and I'm picking up just chatter because what happens in the mind all the time is just noise. And so I'm picking up noise and then I'm also seeking out bits from the noise that are confirming the fear. And then I find myself like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have contributed because I'm getting all this feedback that's negative. And then when people are saying, we want to hear you more, I'm like, oh, you're just saying that. That's political. Like, that's
Mm.
honestly what I was thinking. I'm like, you're just saying it because it's the nice thing to do to the quiet kid in the room. Yeah.
Do you still think that?
Yeah, I think some part of me believes that to be true.
So do you find yourself amazed how much you can contribute when someone is there willing to hear what you have to say?
Yeah, it's a joy and a delight. And it's, I think when I discovered you, I wanted to keep you. And when we met and nothing happened initially, I grieved a little bit.
Mm.
And it's been a process of learning to trust that you actually do want to be here and like you're getting something from this. And I remember telling you in the beginning, like feeling so honored that you want to do this. And even to this day, it's like it's still mind blowing in a lot of ways that you um want to be here. I'm really racking my brain trying to think of what experiences from childhood are the root of this functioning. And I remember my dad would listen really well. He would ask good questions. He was very curious. He's someone I could kind of wrestle with. And then most of the women in my family are surface and gossipy and avoidant and emotionally unintelligent or emotionally avoidant. So I think I learned And now we're speaking, now it's like clicking a little bit, like why am I uncomfortable with women? And noticing like I can offer presence, but there's some level of safety that's not clicking all the way. It's like, oh, in that experience from my childhood, I learned that it's not safe to speak. It's like very uncomfortable to speak the truth and to pull out threads and to ask deep questions because they're not ready or willing, or they don't think it's appropriate to speak to a man or a boy about some things, or it's like going deeper than they've ever gone and it's uncomfortable in that way too.
Mm.
So it's sensitive, right? It's like you're opening up something. Yeah.
So do you consider yourself stupid, unintelligent?
No.
Do you consider yourself intelligent?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself emotionally intelligent or knowing, aware?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to find someone who has the depth that you have? Male. Depth, and I'm not talking of mind only, I'm actually talking emotions as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sprinkled with vulnerability, not sprinkled, held in the saucepan full of vulnerability. That's so
Mm-hmm.
rare. I almost, you know how this is a feminine energy. Feminine energy has the automatic closure and safety and protection. As if, when we talk about the heart and we touch our heart and we say, I swear, because we almost like want to protect the heart, how vulnerable and innocent it is. Like there's a hand that comes right there on it when you are literally talking from the soul or from the depth of your heart. This is the natural tendency to protect, to protect that which is vulnerable, to protect that which is truthful to you, because it can get smashed and crushed outside. But the point is to learn how to let it out, as because it's a gift for others. And find that medium to feel comfortable knowing that nothing bad will happen to it. And it is true, majority of the women, okay, I apply to all wrong, but some women are really deep in feelings. And if a
Mm-hmm.
man can get out of the head and get into the feelings, there's an instant connection. Yes, when hearts are open, they alchemize together. It's immediate
Mm-hmm.
connection of intimacy. And that is where between a male and a woman gets applied as the sexual, right? So
Yeah.
there's this differentiation of that's why just be honest. There's no, what can I do? The best thing you can be is just be honest about it, about your intention, and allow a woman to settle into it without having her defense systems. But I think you're such a joy to be with, right? So there is so much, you are not threatening at all, at all. And I'm saying because I'm sitting here knowing how to protect myself, right? So you also have to have someone who knows already what the boundary is. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even need to tell you, you felt it, right? So you almost felt how far you can go in any way with me. The same way, like I can feel with you, I know how to respect that. But I only know that because I am in my own border, right? So I'm in my own space, in my own field. And I know when the crossing of it will invite me to call you out on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not call you in a defensive, aggressive way rather than call you in an inviting way. Oh,
Right.
we kind of went a little bit further, but you and I talk about so much. We talk about such a deep, intimate topics, and we never cross each other's boundaries. It is full of
Mm-hmm.
respect that it's silent and assured, right? Reassured and reinstated just because we're exchanging. And this is where that deep trust comes in. And also growth, learned integrity within that is respectful towards each other's boundaries by default. So I think you are so rich in essence that can only benefit
Mm.
others. And that those who don't know how to, who are frightened by it, maybe because, of course, it's the truth, of, expect shock. And you just left me speechless type of way, but be comfortable with that because the truth echoes silence right after. And I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. You're very innovative. You're also very ahead of the time thinking.
Mm.
But that is so much valuable now versus talking about how was your day. I don't want to talk about how was your day. I want to talk about how you're feeling about your day. Something
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
changed. Like, who cares how was it? I don't.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I admire you because your level of approach, like how bold you can be. I'm like, oh, I aspire to that. It's something that doesn't come natural to me. But of course, there's magic in how you show up, and there's also I'm also understanding like there's magic in even in being like shy or being overly sensitive, like because then it's only when the situation's perfect or when the person really needs something. And I'm like, oh, like a potency to this potion, whatever. Like you don't want to drink it every day. You want it in spurts.
Mhm.
So maybe that's it too. And maybe just accepting that part will allow it to flow more freely.
Yeah. I love the feedback though. Sometimes you only need that one person. I've been saying it's only one person that believes in you and your whole world changes. When you watch Osho, when I watched him earlier in the day, in 60s and 70s, and then later on, pre-death, his whole demeanor, or actually the manners changed because he's more confident inside. You can see
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't even, all he does is just he looks and then he goes like this. And
Mm-hmm.
but earlier he was tossing jokes and trying to, its whole thing is about confirmation of yourself. Confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. And sometimes, not all the time, you need that from someone else. That what you have to say is valuable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For that reason, we should stay until the death do us apart in this container. For that only
Yeah.
reason, because there is the confidence inside that it's growth. To me, what I'm getting that exact thing. It's like you're willing to hear what I have to say, and I love talking. And
Mm-hmm. Did you just propose to me?
in a way,
Yeah.
but right, and I have a lot to say, and I love what I have to say. But what's the point of being able to say it, having a capacity to say it, knowing it, if you have no one to share it with? That's where that marriage with the other, marriage with the self, and marriage with the world comes handy. So we're kind of almost like in a three, four, five marriages at the same time. And if one is not satisfied, all falls because you
Mm-hmm.
need that. So I'm happy we have the outlets to express and really build the inner confidence and inner truth and inner sense. So good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really grateful for this.
Damn. Ooh. So I'm going to Europe this Sunday, so I'll need to skip and we'll go from there. My mom is going to be here for a minute, for quite a long time. And but I want to continue. Let me know about the timing. If we need to do it a little bit
Okay.
earlier, it would
Mm-hmm.
be helpful, or maybe very late at night too also works.
Okay. You going home?
Yeah,
Yay. Have fun.
it's 20 minutes. Oh, I will. I'm gonna go and eat some good food. Ciao.
Love you.